So our community is growing and it needs people. So we all need all hands on deck. If you're happy with what we're doing, you need to talk to your friends, trusted people, so that we can jointly grow this community. We don't want people that will give us issues. We just want straightforward people who just do our business, and then everybody is happy. Okay, so we've gotten that out of the way. Let's dive into the analysis. So if you look at the charts before you, we have jump 10 index, that's J10. The first thing ideally that we do is that we go to the 4-hour time frame. You can see the dashboard before us. It just helps us to confirm the direction of the trend. We can do that manually, but anything that will make the work easier is welcome. So you can see a nice flow. The order flow is actually bullish. You can just see the nice bullish flow. Whatever you do, you don't want to trade against the trend. So you trade with a friend until proven otherwise. So in this case, you can see how nicely the trend is going upward. So that's a bullish trend. So the question that comes to mind is, where do we get into this market? Where do we get into the market? So in order to do that, we look for our nice order blocks. You can see that we have these nice, we can do this without these indicators, but like I said, anything that will, especially for beginners, anything that will make the job easier, we would explore it. So you can see these are fractal indicators, but they are not the regular fractal indicators, they are adjustable. So it gives us a nice idea of the tops and bottoms where the pullbacks end. So you can see that even though it's a bullish trend, the pullbacks end at these areas. So they give us this nice order block confirmation. So the first thing I want to see, you can see that I've nicely marked this area because this is an area of interest for me. So we put a box around this area. What's the plan? The plan is simple. If we get price drop into this area nicely, all right, then we can now move to our lower time frame for other confirmations. But whatever we do, we want to ensure that we're trading when the higher time frame, which is what we know as a HTF, and the lower time frame trend aligns. So if the higher time frame is going bullish, we want to ensure that the lower time frame aligns with the higher time frame. And the beauty of these synthetic pairs is that they are not affected by news events or by fundamentals as it affects mainstream markets. Okay, so what we're looking for strictly for both time frames to nicely align, right? So now you can see our order block area here. Okay, so let's jump to the M15. Now on the M15, again, pay attention to the red box. This was the red box we drew. So you can nicely see our red box area here, which is the area of interest to us. Okay, you can see price trading around this area now. And you can see that our trend line or our trend indicator is telling us that the M15 is still bearish, right? We want the M15 and the H4 to nicely align for us to have a setup, all right? Well, while we are waiting for that, right, we want price to nicely drop. Price is already trading below the previous day low, which is, if I put a line there, where's my line? Okay, so if you can see all my lines already marked out. This was the previous day low was around this area. You can nicely see that. Current price action is already below that area. So that tells us that, oh, we're in a nice position. Price is dropping to our area of value. So we want this price action to come all the way down to this point, aligning with our higher time frame order block, right? Yeah, okay, so now you can see that the 4-hour changed to the downtrend, 15-minute downtrend. But like we said, these are indicators. They just indicate. But for us, we look at what's happening right in front of us. Okay. So right now, we want price to drop nicely into the area of value or area of interest, right? So if price gets to this area, then we are paying attention to this pair. What are we looking for? We're looking to see um, that price is trading below the previous day low one. And then we're looking to, because we're looking for a nice discounted entry, we're also looking to see a break in structure. All right. We're also looking to see a break in structure. So I'm sure when this comes down around this area, you're going to have something like a fractal form. Okay. So if price now goes ahead to break that fractal, the new fractal that forms, it tells us that, oh, the direction has now shifted to the direction of the higher time frame, confirming our bias. So we can look to take a trade. Okay. Now, this may seem a bit confusing for some of us. So I'm going to look for an area with historical data to help explain what I'm looking for. All right. Okay, so you can see that price is still dropping. We want it to drop into this area. Now, when that happens, we will look for it to break an upper structure, resistance. If it breaks the resistance, we wait for it to pull back a little, align with the 200 moving average going up, and then we just join with the higher time frame trend. Okay, you can clearly see that the higher time frame is still telling us uptrend. We want it to drop into this area, and we can nicely look to flow with the uptrend. But if we don't get a setup, obviously we're not going to trade. So let me look for an area that will explain what I mean. All right, so not a picture perfect area. So this area you can clearly see. This area is a picture perfect area. The market is bullish, and we have a nice, you can see, we're looking for a discounted entry. So this is a nice area with a fractal. You can clearly see that, all right? This is a nice low, all right? Even though you have an area here, but whichever other block you choose, the important thing is to jump to your lower time frame and look for your setup. So let's assume that this is the area we're looking at. This is the area, higher time frame, reference area of interest, okay? So this area, all right? So now I move to my lower time frame, my M15. Let me just block that area so that it gives you an idea of what we're looking for, or what we're expecting price to do. So those are the two lines I've blocked that area with. Maybe I could just use a box to, okay, so fine. So now I drop to my M15, okay? Let's get the dates. All right, so we found it. This is it. Now, okay, so this is the area, right? You can see this was at the higher time frame box we drew. All right, now price was dropping into this area. First and foremost, you can clearly see that with the period separator, this is a new day, obviously, and price is trading way below the previous day low. So this gives us confirmation that price has dropped nicely. All right. Now, after this happens, we are now looking to see confluence, indicator confluence, divergence, or shark fin. You can clearly see that we have a higher low to a lower low, all right? So you can clearly see that there's a divergence. If you don't see these things on the chart, we don't trade. We trade what we see. You can clearly see a nice divergence there. That's rule number 2. And the third thing we want to see is now we want a clear break in structure. Okay, we want a clear break in structure. In that case, you can see that we have a structure level with a fractal. We have a nice structure level here. Okay, some persons may ask, why didn't we use this? It's still fine. That's a structure level here, all right? Now, identifying this structure level, what you want is to clearly see that price is now shifting ground and going in the direction of the higher time frame. Remember, the higher time frame is an uptrend. You want to see price going in that direction. So the first thing you want to see, price has gone below the previous day low here with a nice pullback. The second thing you want to see is that price nicely gives you a confluence of divergence or sharp fin. And then the last thing you want to see is that structure level is broken to the direction you are predicting. And this is a nice structure level break here. If this looks too shallow for you, you want to see this area here. Clearly see that structure break here, all right? So this is for a conservative trader. You can see this area here broke structure. Now the last thing we want to see is a pullback, structure break pullback here, confirming it. And then here you can now clearly see that now price has now gone above the 200 moving average, all right, confirming that now price is moving in the direction of the uptrend. Now you can see that price is giving you higher highs and higher lows. This is a low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high. Price goes up, closes above the 200 moving average, giving you a confirmation that the lower time frame, the M15, time frame is aligning with the H4 time frame. All right, so this is the point where we look to take a trade. With this confirmation here, we take a trade here. All right, and we look to give the trade a buffer with a stop loss somewhere below there. All right, just to give us a buffer. All right, so let's see how it plays out. Okay, so before doing that, let's switch to the high. Okay, so that's fine. Let's continue. So you can clearly see that with the bias, there was a bit of a scare there. A bit of a scare. Didn't get to our stop loss, and then price rose up, rose up. So let's see how that plays out. Oh, nicely. So it just kicked in there. So this would have scared some persons. Usually that's why we do what is known as breakout and retest for a nice entry. All right. So you can see clearly that the trend now kicks in play with the higher time frame trend and nicely continues. All right, so lastly, we need to look at how do we set take profits, okay? How do we take profits? How do we take profits? So we go to the H4 and we look to take profits at the most recent structure level. And in this case, you'll find here, so our setup occurred around here on the lower time frame. Then we had this little scare of the pullback that never got to our stop loss, and then price shut up. This is where we look to take profit, previous high. All right. So once this high is broken, we start looking for another block where we can get a nice entry. All right. So basically that's it, and that's what we look for in taking our positions. Remember, this is a synthetic pair, and it also plays to. Thank you. I hope this has added a little bit of value to you. Remember, pick a plan. And let's build this community together. Talk to friends and family about it. Let's grow this community. Thank you, everybody. God bless you.